Man, oh man. A couple days ago, Bronny James officially declared that he would be entering the NBA draft while keeping his NCAA eligibility open in the transfer portal. Now, I'll be honest, this came as a complete surprise to almost everyone because there were definitely rumblings about Bronny entering the transfer portal and possibly leaving USC to go to another school. But I don't think a lot of people, including me, expected him to flat out declare for the NBA draft. This was completely out of left field. Before we get into the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot in these YouTube streets. We're on the road to 1,000 subs, and I really appreciate you all for rocking with me so far. Anyways, let's get back to business. In an Instagram post put up by Bronny, he penned a goodbye letter thanking USC and confirming his decision to enter the draft. And I'm gonna be completely honest, I'm confused by this decision to enter the NBA draft. Now, to refresh everyone's memory, around summertime last year, Bronny actually went into cardiac arrest during our USC workout. Doctors said that this was as a result of an anatomically and functionally significant congenital heart defect. Now, I'm not going to pretend to know what this shit means at all, but all there is to know is that this is a medical issue with the heart that usually occurs in infants and happens at a rate of around 1 in every 3,400 babies that are born in the US. Now, to state the obvious, this is a life-changing event to happen to anyone. Nonetheless, someone who's 19 years old and has a whole life and a potential basketball career in front of them. And though it is good news for the James family and Bronny that when this particular heart defect is found, it's treatable, and that after surgery, most infants and adults go on to live regular lives, we gotta remember that this is Bronny, son of LeBron James. This is a kid with large expectations who has a constant shadow of his father lingering over him. A kid who's trying to play a top level sport at a top level intensity for an entire career. So it's not surprising that there are still questions about his health and whether he can play a full college season at a high level, never mind an 82-game NBA season. That's crazy. Now, Bronny did eventually end up returning to UFC after 4 months and after the surgery was completed and he was cleared by doctors. And in his return, he averaged 4.8 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 2.1 assists on a 36.6 field goal percentage while averaging 19.4 minutes per game. Now, let's be honest. These are not numbers that scream NBA ready in the slightest, and it may be that he's just not entirely comfortable on the court yet, which makes sense, or that he's just not that good. But because he's Bron's son, teams are going to take a chance on him for the last name alone. This is some pure basketball nepotism type shit for real. And I don't understand rushing to the NBA. It's clear that Bronny's not really ready yet. He needs at least another year or two in college to really hone in that talent, get comfortable, and develop his offensive game to really be a problem when he's drafted to the NBA. Now, recently there has been speculation and talk coming from Shams, who says that there are some teams in the NBA who do view him as an NBA caliber defender at this point, and he talks about it more in this clip right here.
There was some news. Where's Bronny going?
Bronny James is declaring for the 2024 NBA draft, but he's also maintaining his college eligibility, going to enter the NCAA transfer portal, leaving USC regardless of where this goes. I'm told this is just the start of the process where Bronny James' priority is to stay in the draft, of course, but that's going to depend on how the evaluation comes from his team workouts, team visits. He's going to have to go through a thorough evaluation through this pre-draft process. When I talk to NBA teams, there's a clear consensus that as a defender, he's already at that caliber of an NBA defender. We know about his basketball IQ as well. Obviously, great genes there. But shooting, offensive game, ball handling, I think those are all things that scouts, talent evaluators will keep an eye on as he goes through the pre-draft process. And I think if there's a draft to be in, though, this is probably the draft by all accounts to stay in. And it's not like Bronny James is a guy that's hurting for money. This is something that I think him, Rich Paul, his agents at Clutch Sports, they're going to make sure he finds the right situation, whether that's in the first round, the second round, if he does stay in this draft. And any GM that takes Bronny James and takes on the persona of what this is all going to mean, you're going to have some level of comfortability with your job status as well. So we'll see where Bronny James ends up. We'll know in the coming weeks and months.
Now, this is something positive in Bronny's favor, I guess, but on the other hand, the NBA is having its highest average scoring season it's ever had in its entire history. So NBA caliber defensive player isn't really the rave review it would have once been in past years, but I guess something's better than nothing at this point. And this is just my opinion, but I think it would have been better served for Bronny to just transfer to another school, maybe the Ohio State Buckeyes or somewhere else notable close to where he grew up, and just play for another year to really get comfortable, solidify himself from a scoring standpoint, and really get his draft stock up to where it should be for what his name should bring. I mean, it's not like little dude is from the hood or something where he needs a big bag to feed his family so much that he needs that NBA contract right away. Not to mention, it's estimated that Bronny took in around $7 million just this year alone from NIL money. So he has no problem getting to that money. I mean, he's damn near already seen more money in 1 year in college than most people will ever see in their life, only averaging less than 5 points a game. So it can't be a money thing. Not to mention that his dad is literally LeBron James, one of the most richest and successful basketball players there's ever been in NBA history. So when I think about it a little bit more, if he's not really medically ready, if he's not really basketball ready, and he's still keeping his NCAA eligibility open, then it can only point to one thing, and this is another decision by Mr. LeBron James and Clutch Sports. Yes, both Bronny and Bryce are signed to Clutch Sports, and if you didn't know about Clutch Sports and CEO Rich Paul, one thing over there is that they're going to get to that money. This is the same Clutch Sports that negotiated more than $4 billion worth of contracts, got Ben Simmons his 5-year, $177 million contract. We all know how we feel about that. Got Anthony Davis's $186 million contract, Draymond Green 100 M's recently, Fred VanVleet got 135 M's, and Jalen Hurts even got 255 M's. And I don't doubt that from a legacy standpoint, with LeBron seemingly giving hints at him retiring from the NBA in a couple years, that he wants to see at least one of his sons make it to the league, if not be the first person to play alongside his son in the league. So if I were a betting man, I would say that this is a very large motivator and the reason for Bronny to declare for the NBA draft. But I want to know what y'all think. Will there be a team that drafts Bronny just purely for his last name and or getting a shot at LeBron on their team? Or is Bronny going to get passed on just to return to the NCAA for another year? And also, do you think that LeBron would nudge the Lakers to draft Bronny? They do have a first-round pick if the Pelicans decide not to use it. This was acquired by the Pelicans and the Anthony Davis trade a couple years back. And the Lakers also have a second-round pick as well, too, for 2024. So it is a possibility, just putting it out there, that the second round, they might pick up Bronny. Second round does sound more realistic for a player like Bronny anyways. And who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong about all of this. Maybe Bronny comes to the NBA and flourishes and has a long and fruitful career. Who knows? Only time will really tell. Anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Click the left side over here for more videos in our NBA playlist if you want to see more. Thank y'all for watching, and I'm out.